Hello and welcome to the 8th International Uşak Seahorse Short Film Festival, such a long name. We are here with Carlos Gomez-Trigo. He's from Spain and right now one of the finalist films of Survivors director. Welcome, Carlos.
Thank you so much.
So Carlos' movie Survivor is a sci-fi movie in a really minimalist environment, minimalist atmosphere. But from the atmosphere, you can easily get into a sci-fi movie, like a really how can I say high-key kind of movie. So Carlos, can you tell us about yourself at the first place, and how did this story came from? How did you start to write Survivors?
Yeah, this is weird because I don't know how to pronounce the word, because I think the right word is survivors, but because this is a kind of misspelling, say survivors or whatever you want. So I have no idea. With English, no idea. So yeah, the idea comes from, I think it's 2017-18, the first time that I start to talk about this. And it comes from conversation with friends, like in a bar and drinking, and just start to talk so many crap that you think that is kind of interesting or philosophical. So we were talking about how stupid we're coming as a society, and this thing is stuck in my mind for a long time. And it's like, okay, we're getting a kind of dumb, making so many worrying for things that are not important in our life. It's like, let's take this to the next level and let's make a story where we can see if we deserve a second chance. If the humanity if we deserve a second chance. And so after a while, what I decided is like, okay, where can I set up this world? So I decided to set up in a kind of post-apocalyptic situation with only 3 people. It took me, like, I think I wrote in a really fast way. I think because I don't consider myself as a screenwriter, so I just go like directly. I have the things in my mind, and when I think I know the beginning, the middle part, and the end, I go directly like right. And yeah, so I think that I finished in the screenplay was for 2018. That the part of the screenplay.
Yeah. But also it's like when you say you write it really fast, it's like the concept at the first place. Around the concept, maybe you write it, right? Because the image is clear. It's like really one location project.
Yes.
Yeah, it's only one location project. So yeah, I really enjoy the atmosphere and the feeling of the film. And there are some, how can I say, bizarre choices in your film, like the head blows, and so it has a really serious approach. Then it's a funny but gore, bizarre things are happening. So I would like to ask you that: is there any other directors or approaches? How can I say? With art forms, do you inspire some people or subjects?
Yeah. I like genre movies. No, I don't consider myself a super fanatic of the genre topics, because I enjoy with all kind of movies. So my reference, I guess, not in what I made, in the reference what I like to see, what I like to watch, are quite abroad. So you can go from Tarantino, from Paul Thomas Anderson, to people from the 40s. So I don't have a specific influence, but let's even for this movie, what I knew is that, because this is what you say, is a kind of serious topic, but I like to involve in a dark comedy situation, and of course with these kind of elements that are a kind of gore or with the situation of the heads. But no, for example, about the influence, I remember that the editor told me, I think that he was maybe too excited about it, because he told me, there is like some kind of good points in the movie is because you go through different moods. So kind of comedy, you touch the romantic, but then it's the last part for me is quite dramatic when you realize what happened. And it's like, but you go super fast and in a good way. It reminds me a kind of to Parasites. It's like, oh, okay, watch out, because this is like an amazing movie. So no, I don't know. I think that I was worrying in a kind of a broad way. So sometimes my mind goes to different. If you have to cut me, you cut me. So.
No. We won't cut
so,
anything.
Yes.
Don't worry, we won't cut anything. So yeah, but you're right about it. There are lots of different emotions that you shift quickly. And the other thing that interests me is it's in a post-apocalyptic world, but the production design with a really minimalistic choices, I can say. I don't know if it's to say that is correct, but seems expensive. But when you think about it, it's kind of a low-budget film. So it's well done for that. I don't know the budget. Maybe it's really high-budget film, but I really enjoyed the characteristics of the costumes, also the design. So for the production design parts, what did you think? Yeah, this is my question.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot for this, for the this idea that it looks like expensive, but at the same time a kind of low budget, because it's a good point of the custom designer Noelia Lebrato. She make a really good work because in the screenplay, of course, the design of each custom was not precise, except for some points that I knew the helmet of one person how would be, or some elements. But the idea is that each character create his own I don't know how to call this, special custom with the elements that he can find or they can find at home. That's the reason, because it looks like a kind of low budget, because this is the idea, is that okay, I know that the end of the war is gonna be in 2 days. So what I have at home, I have to find something to protect myself. So, and also I think there was like a good choice to unify all them in terms of lighting. And this is something that the director of photography, Marino Pardo, also was made really good. It's like, because each character has his face surrounded by a LED. So you can see that customs are different, but all of them has the same light, and the same light that make them a frame inside a frame, and that separates themselves from the others. So these two parts, photography and custom design, for me are one of my favorite things in the movie, because they limit really good these two things that you say. Is like, okay, it has to be a kind of low budget movie, but on the other side, when you see the cinematography, you can see this a kind of professional movie, or at least this is what I think. No?
Yeah, sure. Also, the another layer of this film is I can say the sound and music structure. How did this process for you?
Okay, with the music, that for me, the last part of the short, because of the music, is what I think it works. The last 50 seconds for me is my favorite part of the short. I'm quite critic with my works, and most of the time I don't enjoy watching them. This is something that I don't know if happens to you, but when I go to my festival to see my movie, I don't enjoy it. Instead, in my case, when it starts the last 30 seconds, it's like, okay, this part, I'm happy with this. So the work with the musician is Christian Azuaje. Start before the editing. I give him some kind of reference, what kind of music I like as a reference, and then most of all, I told him I'm worried with the transition between different moods. That is what we were talking before, because it's like going through the comedy to a kind of romantic point, and then the last part that have to be sad but emotional at the same time. It's like it's going to be based in some points, but probably the most complicated is going to be using the music. So yes, we're working. First, he sent me some reference. Then, when I have the short edit, the first edition, he works over that. But we're working for, I think that 5-6 months, and I was never happy with the last part, because I knew there was something there is something that I cannot. I need more. And he stopped for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks he called me. Hey Carlos, I just sent you. Do you have in your mail the last version of my music for the short? And I think that you're gonna love it. I have a kind of epiphany. So if you don't like it, please don't call me never more. So he was really tired. And that from the music, and with the sounds, I work with Alex Marais, as a really good sound designer in Spain. And I really like him because I give some of my ideas, what kind of sounds, what I like to be out of the screen, what I like to have with more preference, and he came with more creative sounds. For example, when they go out of the car and the microphone of Mark start to fail because the helmet is broken, and he told me let's also use the microphone the microphone sound to give the sense to the spectator that the helmet is broken. That's the reason, because the sound, when he starts to talk out of the car, the sound of Mark goes like, sometimes is with a microphone sound, sometimes is with a regular voice. So yeah, that was about the sound work.
Yeah, I totally agree. And maybe because of the subject, I can say, the end of the world, and people are getting poisoned by the air. What is your relation with this? Actually, I'm asking that, do you think that world is going to end? This is my first question. And what do you think about this pandemic and this movie? What are your similarities for those?
Yeah, okay. About the first question, if I think that something like this is going to happen, I don't know. I'm really pessimistic with the situation, with the climate change and everything. I'm really pessimistic, also because I think that we as a society, we're not doing anything to be part of the solution of this problem. I think that there is a lot of good words, but few facts. So I think that we are not going in a good path. I hope that it will change. So I cannot give a final answer to that. I really hope that it will change. And for the second question about how is going to be, how is relate the movie with the actual pandemic? As I told you, the story was made before 2018. The surfing was shot in November 2019, so everything was before that. But then it's true that when we were editing the short and working in the post-production is when all this came to the world, the COVID-19. And I have some friends that tell me, some friends like one of the main actors, the editor told me, is like, oh, this is the best marketing for the movie because it's like, it's what is happening now. And it's like, oh, okay, yes, but I would prefer that the COVID never exists, no? But it's true that you can see some of the behaviors of the characters. You can see that happened in the real world. For example, I remember in March, I think it was March, beginning of April, when all the supermarkets you cannot find in the supermarkets like a toilet paper. Mm-hmm. It's because each one want to have toilet paper for the next 10 years. And so this kind of egoism, selfish attitude is what Jean-Paul, the main the character that is in the back side of the car, is what is happening. It's like, no, I'm tired of having the helmet. I want to take out. Or it's like with the vaccines also, this kind of situation sometimes that you see people that are not too scientists with this situation, no? So yeah, you can see there is some related attitudes from the characters that you can see in society, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Carlos. It was really nice to talk with you. So thank you for joining to the interview. And also for our audience, I'm mentioning Survivors again. You can find it from ushakfilmfest.com. Go and watch the film. It's really interesting sci-fi. Really bizarre and somehow funny and romantic with everything inside.
Thank you so much. I mean, you should be the one to sell the movie for me. Really, I need you.
You know, I will get the cut after that. I will be your distributor. All right. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you so much for everything. Enjoy the festival. Ciao, ciao.